Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start my little talk on a subject that has always intrigued me, and I could assume that more than one here as well. Probably not everyone was aware of the existence of this science. Well, it is not really a science, it is considered a pseudoscience, the so called Cerealogy. This pseudoscience is known in the world of ufology with that name since it refers to the study of the drawings or figures that are created in the field crops, harvest, or similar that appear in a surprising way. They are generally associated with extraterrestrial phenomena involving appearances of spacecraft or UFO. Segmento 2. Despite the fact that there is no really scientific evidence to support the existence of a relationship between the appearance of these drawings and extraterrestrial life, there are many people around the world who have given their testimonies attesting that they are real and not a product of a man with too much free time to create them on his own. But before talking about specific cases, I want to give you a bit of history regarding this phenomenon. First of all, the term crop circles was coined by two men, Doug Bauer and Dave Charlie, in the late 70s. Years later, they confessed that they themselves had made over 200 circles, inspired by a Queensland farmer's statement that claimed to have seen a UFO flying over the area and drawing figures similar to circles. Segmento 3. One of the oldest publications that exists related to the circles is one made in the year 1678, where it told the story of a farmer in England who refused to pay the price demanded by a worker to cut his field, and who swore that he preferred that the devil cut him down instead. According to the text, that same night his field caught fire, and the next morning he appeared perfectly mown. Therefore, it is frequently quoted by ufologists. However, there are some of them who don't consider it a precedent, since modern circles imply that the width of the field bends and not cuts. Segmento 4. In relation with crop circles, the believers in the non conventional origin of the drawings, that is, ufological, paranormal, or other origin, point out that there are certain characteristics of the crops, such as 1. That the plants are not broken or bent, but deformed by radiation with characteristics similar to microwaves. 2. The surviving plants within the circle present abnormal growth. 3. The plants present electromagnetic disturbances. And 4. The broken plants emit residual radiation. Segmento 5. There are a large number of sightings of these circles around the world, approximately more than 10,000. Without a doubt, one of the most emblematic is the one I mentioned a few minutes ago, the circle in Queensland, Australia. This was found by George Bedley, a banana farmer from Queensland. He was driving his tractor next to a lagoon in his property when he suddenly heard a deafening whistle louder than the noise of the engine. George immediately stopped to check the tractor because he thought it got a flat tire. But before he could even step down from the cabin, a flying saucer rose at top speed from the lagoon. Segmento 6. After the spaceship vanished in a cloud of blue vapor, George went to investigate, and what he found changed his life forever. Unlike the vast majority of UFO reports, this unidentified aircraft had left a nest like mark 9 meters in diameter. Also, many of the reeds fused together, presumably from the heat of the engine, and it moved in a circular motion clockwise for a while. Meteorologists, seeking logical explanations, suggested that the mark might have been created by some whirlwind, but a lack of other evidence failed to confirm this theory. Segmento 7. After this huge news invaded the headlines of the country, it became known in other parts of the world where they also began to give notice of sightings of similar circles. However, until 1991, two artists, Doug Bauer and Dave Charlie, confessed that inspired by the 1966 Queensland nests, they had made hundreds of crop circles. Despite this revelation, some dedicated cereologists continue to claim that a significant percentage of crop circles are traces of extraterrestrial activity. According why intelligent life would travel millions of miles from a distant galaxy, leave strange patterns in remote fields, and disappear without a trace, no one knows. Segmento 8. Some of the most famous cases. Segmento 8. Some of the most famous cases of crop circles that have been recorded are, for example, in 1990, when a 100-meter long pictogram appeared in a wheat field in Alton Barnes, England. The figure was made up two pairs of circles. Each pair had two clock-like appendages. Another one in a wheat field in Exton, England. It appeared a circle of 20 meters in diameter. The spikes were bent in a clockwise direction. Around it were four satellite circles 6 meters in diameter, with the spikes spiraling counterclockwise. In 1996, a circle appeared in the Valdakar Peninsula and was a 110 diameter circle contained three linked spirals within it. Segmento 9. This discipline has not only been helpful for those who want to explain the extraterrestrial origin of crop circles, but has also been of interest to other experts in other areas, such as the Italian inventor Umberto Baudo, who claims to have decoded some crop circles and found the secret of free energy. In his early experiments, he attempted to create magnetic motors that were made of circles based on crop circle formations. His work progressed from magnetic systems to systems using centrifugal force. Although many people remain skeptical, he believes that these systems may work against the first law of thermodynamics, which states that the total energy of an isolated system is constant. Segmento 10. However, delivering a free source of energy to the world, as was the idea of Nikola Tesla, could provoke the rejection of the world economy, since everything revolves around monetized methods of energy supply. Finding a source of unlimited free energy could change the global economy, freeing people from the need to work themselves to death to pay energy bills. And a lot of big exponents might be the biggest losers in terms of incomes. Segmento 11. To conclude, I would like to refer personally to Cerealogy. Although, as we already know, this discipline is considered only as a pseudoscience, we cannot deny the interest it has caused in the global consciousness. On the one hand, it may be because, as human beings, we always we always feel attracted to the unknown, and despite the fact that numerous cases of crop circles have been refuted, there is a much larger number that could not be explained with scientific methods. This leaves the door open to a new world of uncertainties, which in turn is taken advantage of by those who want to make a logical sense, or not so much, of this amazing phenomenon.